Raise your hand when you're ready. We'll start with Austin.
The running game's not been on track like it was against Arkansas and Alabama the last couple of games. How do you guys get back on track this week? Is that something that just taking stuff away, they're loading the box and trying to take that part of the game away?
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job. We played some really good defenses, defensive line, and linebacker play. The biggest deal is we just got to get back to doing what we do in terms of being fundamentally sound, technique, running backs being in sync with the offensive line as we kind of continue to go along. And we got to do a really good job taking the dirty yards and just taking what's there. I think a lot of times, especially in the last game, you kind of saw us as running backs start to press a little bit more in terms of trying to make plays happen down the field in the run game. We just got to take what the defense is giving us.
Where is that line in terms of trying to make the splash play and trying to get the dirty yards? And how do you balance? How do you have players? How do you get your players to balance that?
We talk about it before we take the field every game. A lot of game to come to you. Don't feel like you got to go be Superman on every play. There's going to be a 2-yard gain. There's going to be a 3-yard gain, and then the big one will happen. Very similar to what happened in the Arkansas game. Like Bish allowed a 5-yard gain, and then next thing you know, you start hitting for 20 and 30 yards. So you're allowing the game to come to you. So it's just being patient as a running back, not allowing your feet to be faster than what your eyes are in terms of seeing those holes in the run game. So that's the things that we've been preaching, a lot these past 2 weeks.
Coach, how do you feel like it's gone trying to rotate 3 guys and try to get all those guys in a groove when maybe they need carries to find a sort of settle in?
Yeah. I feel like, man, it's always that balance in terms of trying to find the way to get it done. They've done a good job in terms of getting in there, in terms of being patient. But at the same time, I understand, how it is in terms of, man, as a back, you want to get in there, you want to be able to, get in your field and floor the game a little bit earlier. But overall, it's been good in terms of being able to get those guys in and kind of, get a defense different looks too, because you got guys that are 3 different skill sets coming at them. So it's kind of hard for the defense to prepare for which back is coming at them right now.
I know you guys are still in this season, but you're always sort of projecting roster building. Those freshmen running back, how much can you really tell in practice about their viability next year and how they've grown this year, just from practice and the few carries they've had in games?
You could tell, especially in the practice settings, just from their mindset, the way they go attack it, the way they work. The good part about this is that we're doing crossover work with the defense, so you get a chance to see them when they're going against the 1 defense, the 2 defense, in terms of their maturation process, how they come about in terms of growth. That piece has been good. Like their mindset, they've done a good job of staying ready because they understand you never know when my number's going to get called, especially playing the position that we do, to where you're going to get some nicks, you're going to get some bruises, so you got to be ready to go. But from a mindset standpoint, both of those 2 young guys have been really, really good in terms of Justin and DeJuan. And then physicality-wise, like you see them growing, and that's the biggest deal that you've seen from them this whole entire season is the growth process in that.
West and Brent.
Darrell, as you're looking into what the rotation might be going into each game, I'm sure plans always, go one. You design one way and then go another. But as you're planning them, is it a situation where you're looking at this guy as a good matchup against this particular defense, or is it more sometimes, hey, this guy just had a better week of practice, or what goes into those conversations?
I think the biggest deal is you look at, number one, the schematic, situations in terms of stuff that we got in during that week, because you got different skill sets. You may have one guy that's better in terms of running this particular play. And then you also look at the same situation in terms of the production, the matchup situation that you may get, who's had the best week of practice, the production from the previous game in terms of how it's going. And then you get in the game, and then I always say this, how's the offense moving when you're in the game? Is it staying consistent in terms of moving the ball down the field, or does it go up another level when you're in the game? And then that's the way you kind of determine this guy's hot. The offense is moving at a different level when he's in the game, and those are the guys that we kind of ride with at that particular point in time.
Brent, then last one to Patrick.
How hard is it to figure that out early? Because I look at your all's numbers, you run the ball better in the second, you're more productive in the second half than in the first half. Is that just settling in? Is that you wearing down a defense? Is that a running back getting into a rhythm where maybe it's harder for him to get into rhythms early? What do you kind of equate those numbers to?
I think you look at it holistically. I think you can look at us wearing a defense out And then we get in the third and fourth quarter, defense is tired while we got fresh legs, especially in the backfield. And then at the same time, like you said, it is guys getting in their rhythm, getting in their groove, and then kind of rolling from that standpoint. But I think, like, holistically, when you look at it, one, the defense is tired in third and fourth quarter, so we got fresh legs. And then two, guys just start to see it a little bit better in that second half. You kind of get adjusted because for us offensively, you got to get adjusted to what the defense is throwing at you, especially in the first half, because we do get some different looks and different fronts and things. So as we get into the second half, it becomes a little bit better for us.
Deshaun's first year in the starting role, what
Yep.
do you think he's grown the most from game 1 to now?
Man, I think he's just continuing to get comfortable, and he'll tell you that too in terms of getting in his groove. Looking at him, how he's growing and matured throughout this season has been really good for him. His eyes are really good in terms of having that vision, in terms of being able to see those run lanes. You know, the physicality piece has always been there for him. I think the pleasant surprise, to be honest with you, is seeing him when he gets in the open field. Like the run that he had versus Alabama, where he did a really good job of setting up his blocks. Like, everybody looks at Bish as being the guy that's between the tackles, that's going to be your dirty yards guy, your guy that's going to move the chains, which he does a good job of. But when you really look at him in terms of once he gets on that third level, he's winning on the free hats. And he's doing a really good job of getting those yards after contact and having explosive runs. And I think that kind of carried over from last year. Like, he had some explosive runs last year, and then this year's kind of carried along for him. So I think that's the biggest maturation process for him this year. Awesome.
Thank you.